Jurassic Park Operation Genesis is a 2003 simulation game released on the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and PC. The game has 4 different modes. Operation Genesis, the main mode of the game, where you aspire to build your very own Jurassic Park and turn it into a 5-star theme park. Site B, where it's like a sandbox for creating dinosaurs. Missions, which were fast and easy to complete scenarios like shooting dinosaurs or taking pictures. And exercises, where your park building skills are tested, just like the scenarios in Zoo Tycoon. For speedrunning, Operation Genesis, missions, and exercises have their own categories on the speedrunning page. Today's focus is the 8th exercise in the game, Dangerous Abodes. This video guide will describe what the exercise is, what the most efficient way to speedrun the exercise is, and an example of a speedrun compiled with all the tactics I will mention. With that said, let's get into it. The exercise becomes unlocked after the completion of the previous exercise. Dangerous Abodes in particular is meant to test your ability to enclose carnivorous dinosaurs and satisfy the thrill-seeker guests. When the exercise begins, it places you in a pre-built park with everything researched and would partially complete genomes for 2 species, Acrocanthosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus. The available dig sites are Hill Creek A, Judith River Group B, and Chenini Formation. Casually, this exercise doesn't take long, maybe anywhere between 30 minutes and an hour, as you already have everything researched, have no objectives based on star rating, which in other exercises take most of your time, and you begin with a somewhat decent budget and can demolish everything for a total of $123,400. Also, you can easily complete the objectives with the start and 2 species. If you wanted, you could breed more dinosaurs to get more guests and money, but as I already said, you should be well equipped with money in the 2-star species to quickly complete the exercise. Unless if you just want to be an overachiever and make a nice 5-star park, which go ahead if you want to, no one's judging or stopping you. Now, let's go into the speedrun side of Dangerous Abodes. So before we go into the exercise objectives and how to quickly complete them, let's talk about the speedrunning guidelines. First, game audio must be present. Second, no cheats are allowed, nor any mods that substantially affect the gameplay. Third, the timer. Time begins when the exercise loads in, meaning the timer begins on this cutscene introduction, and it ends whenever the exercise completed screen appears after you completed the last objective. I know it's self-explanatory, but any time spent in the map menu, pause menu, dialog boxes, or any of the interfaces will be used against you. Now that we have that settled, the objectives of the exercise are listed on the screen, and during the rundown, we will discuss the best way to speedrun the exercise. After watching the video, you should be able to complete the run in under 10 minutes, as my previous time was 7:34. So do you want to speedrun Dangerous Abodes? Here's how you do it. This section will be a lot of information in a short amount of time, so I will try to organize and recite the information in a coherent manner. After selecting the exercise from the menu and waiting for it to load, the beginning cutscene will play. Press B or circle to skip it, as time has already started. Skip the John Hammond dialog boxes after this and get to work. You can't open the park until you breed a dinosaur, so breed several of either the Acrocanthosaurus or the Carcharodontosaurus in the nearest enclosure to the park entrance. Typically, I use the bottom left enclosure, but you could use the bottom right. I usually build a second hatchery to speed up the process of breeding the carnivores. Make sure the dinosaurs have feeders and access to water. I even modify the enclosure so that way the dinosaurs will be more easily visible to the balloon ride and safari adventure, but if you don't, you should be fine. Luckily, both Acrocanthosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus can coexist in the same paddock, so this makes it easier to pump out more dinosaurs. Once the first dinosaur is released, quickly open the park via the park entrance. I usually camp the entrance so I don't waste time selecting it, then I skip the dialog box. Now, guests will arrive soon, so now we need to really focus on park layout and design. Delete all unnecessary pathways leading to the rest of the park. We don't need the guests to wander around aimlessly. We need them to get on the attractions as fast as possible to get the rating objectives completed. This also means deleting the kiosk, bathrooms, and souvenir stand. The main reason is guests will flock to these buildings when they could have easily gone straight to the attractions, losing you some time. The secondary benefit is also gaining some more money for breeding more dinosaurs. I had about 8 to 10 carnivores in one of my runs, so feel free to delete any other enclosures if you need additional money for these, as they can get pretty pricey. Now, while I'm waiting on guests, I place 4 viewing platforms near the enclosure. This satisfies one of the objectives. Then, set the rating on one of them to thrills. This should satisfy the rating objective tied with the viewing platform. Just check to be sure, which can be done through the menu or the select button. Unlike the safari or balloon tour, there doesn't have to be any guests inside the viewing platform to complete that objective. You'll notice in my footage I navigate the menus faster. You don't need to worry about that in this mission, as you can still achieve a decent time, but it would be nice to practice optimal menu navigation for quickly placing buildings. After finishing those 2 objectives, close or delete the platforms. I usually delete them for extra cash, but as long as guests can't access them, you'll be fine, as we want them to flock towards the safari and balloon tour rides. If you built the balloon tour and safari before you placed the viewing platforms, it's no biggie. I usually do it after, but as long as you have the balloon tour and safari placed before the guests arrive, it doesn't matter. Once you place both of these attractions, you satisfy 2 more objectives. Once you place both of the attractions, you'll need to complete a path or the vehicle. For the balloon tour, just simply place a marker or 2 above the carnivore enclosure. For the safari, just make a small path. It doesn't really matter because we'll be doing the driving ourselves. So in this game, the cruiser has a life bar that drains when you hit dinosaurs, and some species can one-shot you. Large carnivores are the worst dinosaurs to have in a safari exhibit. If they become agitated, they will attack and destroy the car, leaving your guests stranded. This is why for this objective I usually camp around the station and drive the car as soon as it leaves the garage bay to avoid the risk of the AI being destroyed. You probably won't need to drive it long, as the objective will complete regardless if it's you or the AI driving, but I think driving it is faster and safer. If the car does get destroyed, this is probably the only big reset point in the run. Sometimes the safari rating objective would be the last objective you need to complete. Other times I find myself waiting for the balloon rating objective, which I find to be more time consuming. To negate the issue, I usually place the balloon tour closer to the entrance than the safari. After completing that objective, now you just have to wait for the John Hammond dialogue box to pop up, which sometimes can be instantaneous, but other times it might take a second. If it takes a while to pop up, I might recommend checking the objective to see if you satisfied everything, and if you haven't, I recommend either restarting or just amending your playstyle. Regardless, if you do get the message, then congratulations, you have completed your first Dangerous Abodes run. For reference, here's my current run of Dangerous Abodes.
Hi there. Uh-huh. Great. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to declare the newest wonder of the modern world, Jurassic Park, now open.
Message from Dr. Grant. Hello. It's right. Message from the park warden's office.
Greetings. Hello.
It's good to see. Uh-huh. It's okay. It's good.
Well, uh-huh.
Message from Peter Ludlow.
Do you have a moment to speak with us?
Thanks everyone for watching this video. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please like and even think about subscribing. I might do more videos related to JPOG speedrunning, but I'm also kind of working on some other projects for the channel too. So if you want to see more speedrun videos, let me know. Thanks and have a good day.